We're going to continue on with Chapter 1, Commands. And the next one I'd like to bring your attention to is the history command. Notice I'm typing history with no switches and no parameters. And the history brings up all your previous commands. I have 198. You could have less than me. History is very useful because you can see what's been done, and a company can use this so they have a log or history of what's happened on their machine or server. One thing you can do is if I hit exclamation in the number like 197, it will recall that previous command and run it for me. So notice it's the clear, I hit enter and it clears the screen. I can use the up arrow to go back through my history of commands and the down arrow to go back down the list. I can also do double exclamation and that recalls the last command, which was clear. I also want to bring your attention to a command called the man. The man stands for manual, and we can find out more information about a command by typing man space in the name of the command. So let's learn more about the date command. It brings up a summary of it and all the different various switches. I've talked before about this is the native Fedora switch, and the dash spelt out date is POSIX. POSIX works on all implementations of UNIX around the world that are POSIX compliant. Spacebar to move forward, and notice here's the UTC, and here's how to set the date. Q to quit if you're done looking at the help. The next thing I want to bring your attention to is a very powerful command called the SU or switch user. So SU is the command, minus or dash is the switch, and root is who you'd like to become. On a Unix box, the root is the administrator of the computer. So switch user, the dash means start a new login, which means freeze where I am and start a new one as the root user. You'll be prompted with a password. You will not see the password as you type. And that is for data protection, so you can't try to guess how many characters the password is. This is what happens if you fail the password authentication. So I will try it again. I will carefully type it in, knowing that I can't see it, but Unix is registering it. And I hope you see I am now the root user and no longer be Candido because of this switch here. And the pound means I have elevated privileges. I can do things as the administrator. So right here, I'm going to switch. I'm going to change the date, not switch user, to a date into the future. And notice I say date set, and I put a quote here to start the date. I can also do a time format if I wanted to. I can say 11 o'clock in the morning, and I end it with a double quote. Notice the time on the system has changed. Only the system administrator can change the date. I can change it back by doing the exact same thing. Oh, 9, 45, and 45 milliseconds. I do an exit to go back and leave being in elevated privileges because it can be dangerous to have elevated privileges. And I'm back to where I was.